Hi, Carlos Martin here with Good People Realty. Today's video is going to be a bonus video and I'm going to show you my garden. The other day I was showing a house and I started explaining to a buyer landscaping and things about a specific tree, and they're like, okay Carlos, we know you know about homes, but you're a plant expert too. So I laughed because gardening has been a passion of mine. I transformed my house from what it was full of weeds and a jungle to a backyard oasis. So let me show you the garden and also give you some great tips about plants and trees. So when I was designing my garden, I wanted something that had a lot of color. At the same time, I wanted it to be a winter garden. I know we don't have a true winter here, but the weather from November to March here in Florida is very pleasant. So I wanted my garden to have a lot of color within those months because that's the time I spend outside. So a lot of the plants I chose are plants that give you a lot of color, and also the flowers are going to be on that plant for a while. So here's some of my colorful plants.
High above the chimney top, that's where you find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh why can't I?
So what I did, I visited a lot of the local nurseries from like November to March and looked at plants that were already blooming, and that's what I planted. The local nurseries have a lot of times the same plant you will find at Home Depot or bigger stores like that for twice or three times the size and also half the price. So make sure you visit those local nurseries, give back to them. They're a great place to start and a great place to buy your plants. So one of the first things you need is good irrigation. You know, in the hot months, usually put the irrigation almost every day or every other day. So plants need to get water for those hot months. So make sure the irrigation is set up before you plant anything. So you want to make sure you have good soil. Here in Florida, the soil is very sandy and you want to make sure you have good drainage. I like to personally buy the soil at the nurseries. You can get a very good price when you buy a good amount, or you could buy like Miracle Grow, that type of soil. Anything that has good drainage, spend a little money because your plants are going to appreciate it. Next thing you want to have is good fertilizer. I buy what is called slow release or granules like fertilizer. I apply it starting in March, the summer, and fall. I normally don't do much on winter. If you do it at least 3 times a year, you're going to get a great response from the plant, and you're going to get flowers and new growth. And just apply it about 1 inch or 2 inch from the trunk of the plant. Think about where the roots come down, and that's where you want to apply it. So when you're ready to plant your plants, make sure they're in the right location. If you have a plant that's for full sun, make sure that it's getting at least 4 to 6 hours of sun. If it's something for shade, make sure that plant is in the shade, because if not, the leaves are going to start burning. And if it's a plant that's full sun and you have it on the shade, you're never going to get any flowers or anything like that. So planting the plant in the right location is ideal for them to thrive. Make sure you give your plants a good trimming. I trim my stuff usually in the beginning of spring. That promotes new growth. So a good trimming at least once a year. If you could do it twice after they flower is great. But yeah, as soon as that flower cycle is over, I give it a good trim. It's kind of like a haircut. When you cut your hair, you get new growth, and that new hair is going to come out better. Same thing with plants. So give it a good trim once a year or twice a year, and you're going to have a lot of flowers and a lot of new growth. I also like things to look natural when it comes to like landscaping and planting. For example, all the leaves that fall from this tree, instead of me picking them up and putting them away, I use it as mulch. So that creates humidity for the plants, and you're also giving it a look that's going to look natural and authentic. So these are all shaded plants, and I like things to look in a natural way. So this gives me a lush look. At the same time, I have plants climbing up the tree like they do in the wild. So the goal when I did my garden was I wanted to get a lot of wildlife. I love to shoot birds and photograph them. And I planted a hummingbird and butterfly garden, and I get hundreds of butterflies every year. I also get 3 to 4 hummingbirds that come back consistently every year, and it's wonderful to see them flying around and chasing each other. I also get a family of painted bunties that come in, which are beautiful, colorful birds, and I get about 20 every year. And what's great about it is that they keep coming back over and over again every year. They've come back every year since I've had the garden. Just goes to show you, once you have the right environment, you'll get a lot of birds in. I remember a few years back, a sparrow came in and he had an injured wing. This little bird stuck around for about a month. I actually ended up bonding with this bird, would hand feed him. He would sleep in my patio, and during the day I would just let him loose. He would fly around and always go back to sleep. It was wonderful. After about a month and a half that he got better, he flew away, but I always remember this little bird. So I've been lucky to have actually bees in my backyard, and everything gets pollinated. Same thing with the butterflies and all the birds. I steer away from like stuff like pesticides because you know, that will kill a lot of the insects. And in reality, if your plants are doing well and they're thriving, you won't need to do any of this. There's beneficial insects like ladybugs and a bunch of others that are going to take care of those harmful bugs. So steer away from pesticides if you can. You know, we're lucky in Florida that we have such nice weather from November to like March, and you know, many times of the year we live in a tropical environment where plants thrive. To me, I really enjoy being outside. When I'm home, I'm enjoying my yard. I'm usually not inside. It brings you tranquility, peace. You get to see animals, wildlife. It's beautiful, you know, when you have your garden working. It also brings value to your home. You know, I really enjoy sharing this video. Any questions, you can put some comments below, and see you in the next one.
I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue